Be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Hello, my name is Harry Tumbuatko and welcome to the program. Yes, the titles of the show will soon be gone. It won't be Talk to Harry anymore. It will just be basically political issues. It'll be a segment title. So the whole week at this particular hour, pare-pareho po yan, it's going to be straight politics. Interestingly enough, I was watching the opening on the disclaimer. Nakakapagtaka, ang ganda ng lumang TV frame, pero it makes me wonder because nowadays we have all these new flat screens. I guess we're going retro. I guess what is past becomes present and future again. Going back to our roots, we seem to enjoy that when it comes to the arts. Before we start, I'd like to say very quickly, let's see, you will not be seeing the show every Wednesday night of Dr. Frank Grego because he has gone on to do some other important issues for government. If I'm not mistaken, let's see, he has a political consultancy and economic consultancy now for several congressmen in the 15th Congress, particularly to the congressman and the governor of Bulacan. Now, this will be he'll be very concerned with the history of Bulacan, the birthplace of the Republic, the cradle for Philippine political civilization. He'll be involved with the arts and culture together with the environment, especially on the water areas, the dams, Angat and the Ipo Dam. So stay tuned. He'll be my guest from time to time right here in this program and in possibly the other programs, the political programs here, being he's the GNN historian. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the show, I'd like to have a very quick introduction on our subject, which is basically biodiversity, and in particular, the center of ASEAN biodiversity. Meaning, pag-usapan po natin specifically the topic today being on marine biodiversity. Now, yes, it's a political show. You don't have to change to 7 o'clock being business and living and 9 o'clock social corporate responsibility, being that's the new programming here in GNN. I guess what I'm trying to say is biodiversity, the environment and climate change and all the new buzzwords that have been coming out in the last 4 years. Is this a political issue? The answer is yes. I like to liken this to a pizza. Alam niyo po, kung bumili kayo ng pizza, the cook or the chef, whatever, the baker, slices it. Now, when you have a pizza, you slice it normally in 4 parts and then 8 parts and 16 parts. So that depending on how many people are wanting to eat. Ideally, if you have 8 parts and you have 8 people who are going to eat, everybody gets a single slice each. And then okay na sana, makontento na kayo with your slice. What happens when you have 30, 40, 50 slices and or people who need to share in the very same pie? In this case, for example, with the new president, President Aquino, having a pie of so much worth 2 trillion pesos and so many issues at hand with 50, 100 issues coming into play, what do we call priority? Because after all, top politics is basically the issues of the day that help the nation in nation building. What exactly is the role of biodiversity environment, you tell me? Can we afford to say, wag muna gumastos ngayon, bukas na lang natin pag-usapan yan? By that time, it may be too late. Let's remember that note, that letter that, let me see. I found it peculiar because it was the Prince of Wales who wrote it. I didn't even know that he really writes. He wrote quite well. It came out in Newsweek. He was saying the mistakes of today, sure, if it's finance, like what we experienced in 2008. The financial crisis was abated simply because they threw money at the problem. With environment, kaya ba natin ang tapon ang pera? Ang pera po, ginagawa-gawa lang natin basically for commerce, trade, and whatnot. Can the environment wait? You tell me. I mean, can the environment actually just keep on existing with the current state that it's in and say it's not a priority because we don't have enough money? Gee, if we have no money or we don't have enough money, which is a consequence of what people have created to what we call a civilized society, of which we trade commerce with, if there is no Mother Earth and we decided that this priority is not really a priority, mamaya na natin gawin kasi kukunti lang pera natin. I mean, gee, don't delude yourself. I mean, the environment is one thing. Biodiversity, you and I are part of this biodiversity. It's not just for the living things, many of which we disregard or don't put a priority in front of us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's realize the real issues of priority. It's called our environment. And in this program, we are going to discuss marine biodiversity and who else or who best. Then we have two guests that have come to the studio with us. We've got, on my extreme right, we have Dr. Porfirio Aliño, Professor Marine Science Institute, University of the Philippines, here in Diliman, renowned Filipino expert on marine biology, program leader of the Coastal Research, Evaluation, and Adaptive Management on Climate Change, project leader for Ecosystem-Based Management Project, the David and Lucille Packard, and many other Philippine and international projects, author of numerous books and scientific journals. Let's see, the U. Greenwood Environmental Science Award, congratulations, Doctor. 10 Outstanding Young Scientist Award, again, congratulations. Outstanding Book Award for the National Academy of Science and Technology. Our other guest is Dr. Shiela G. Vergara, Director of Biodiversity Information and Management. That's the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity. Marine ecologist, managed projects in coastal zone management, marine biodiversity conservation, coastal zone management training, worked with the Philippine Council for Aquatic and Marine R&D Research and Development, Philippines Department on Environment and Natural Resources, together with various international non-government organizations like the World Fish Center and Conservation International, and continues to share her interest with us on coastal environment. Ang haba po nun, I hope you didn't mind. I was trying to go fast so we can go straight to the cheese. Thank you very much for being here. Doktor and Doktora, magbenta po kayo ng kortal? No, but you are well studied on the issues. I guess let's start out. Political issue ba po ito? Yes. It is, no? I mean, miski nung gawin natin, pwede ba natin sabihin yung marine, in your area of concern? Can we wait and delay today for tomorrow the issues of marine biodiversity?
No, in fact, it should be a priority ahead of
Bakit po?
others. It's, marine biodiversity is the basis of everything that we do in the marine environment. It's the basis for food, for income, for a lot of economics.
Especially tayo Filipinos, because yes, our staple food is rice. Other than rice, it's fish, basically. Yes. Thank God it's fish, not meat, di ba? And yet, we continue to ruin the coastal waters with dynamite fishing, pollution, and they will maltreat our marine areas, di ba? I think these are issues. So, it is a political issue, and the leadership should look forward to, or make this a priority. Can we wait even just 10 years? Kasi wala tayong pera eh. Alam mo naman, money is only the paper of commerce, di ba? Can the economy, can the environment wait?
I don't think it can even wait for 10 days.
Wow, that's alarming. Sige po.
Yes. The marine environment is also the basis for a lot of industries. Oil and gas, tourism, fisheries.
But why is it being pushed aside by the big companies that deal with marine products? Bakit nila parang tinataboy lang, parang hindi naiintindihan ng mga taong bayan?
Baka tinataboy kasi hindi nga naiintindihan.
So that's the problem. We have an awareness issue.
Yes, to a large extent. Yes.
Why? Bobo bang Pilipino? Hindi naiintindihan? O ayaw ng media kasi hindi kayo namimigay ng pera? You don't give... Yung parang gano'n, di ba? I mean, ang nangyayari, why is it tinataboy natin Pilipino ang marine biodiversity when really, most Filipinos live on the watershed, di ba? On the water areas, coastal areas, and derive living, especially the fishermen. Bakit tinataboy? Hindi naintindihan?
Hindi siguro naintindihan, and kung naintindihan man, it's a lot of work to work on.
So it's the fault of media, not promoting.
But people also feel that, you know, they don't have much choices. Because, like, for example, fishers feel that you cannot deprive us of food, but not knowing that the food that they deplete is the one which actually will sustain them. That's why there is now the idea of development, which is in the context of sustainable development, because development is not only in terms of being able to use it now, but also
sustainable.
To sustain it for future, sustained use, and also for the next generation.
So there is a lack of understanding among us Filipinos.
But also, aside from the understanding, what can people do about it in order to be part of the solution?
Maybe we should go backtrack a little bit. Let's look at the state right now, the state of awareness, not awareness, What is the state of marine biodiversity right now as we talk?